Well, welcome back. Once again, it's Dennis, backyard Eden gardening. Since the last time we met, I planted some more collard greens. I planted, planted 36 of those right there. So just about 3 rows. And the squash is looking pretty good. We can use some more rain. Always, rain from heaven is more beneficial than the water we get from the tap, so to speak. But the cabbage are looking very nicely. And of course, I got to pick those lettuces. They are looking very well. Take a look at those. Get close up here. So now the cabbage looks like a fan. Got a brother in Alabama. He showed me some of his, and they're looking very nice. So these are coming right along, and these all start from a seed. Someone planted them. I bought them at the box store, but they got some more that planted from actual seeds. But a seed produces after its kind, just as it says there in Genesis. And the seed will bring forth fruit or vegetable in season. So this is the season that these vegetables are coming to maturity, coming to fruition, and wanting to be chopped. Look at that lettuce. Beautiful. I think I enjoy seeing them grow more than actually harvesting them to eat. But look at those lettuces. Beautiful. Look at that cabbage. Very nice. Thank the Lord for his tremendous blessing he's given us to work the land. Adam was given the responsibility of to guard the garden, to keep it. Moffat translation says that he was to guard it. And later on, we see that they were kicked out of the garden, and God placed an angel there, a cherubim, flaming swords, to keep the way of the garden and the tree of life, so that no one could go there and eat of the tree of life and be in sin. So once Adam and Eve sinned, then all who were in Adam were considered to be sinful, except Christ, of course, because he wasn't fathered by human flesh or human man, or man. Man is human. But this is it. You can hear the birds in the background. They don't sow, they don't reap, they don't gather into barns, yet it says the Lord feeds them over in Matthew 13 and Luke 8. And it's a blessing to learn from the nature, from what God has created. So these are more squash. And these here in this container, those are radishes. I don't know where you can tell the difference between a radish and a mustard green, but that's what those are. And I just threw the seeds in there just to test these out. This is my testing ground. And these are from seed as well. These are mustard greens. Come from mustard seed. And I forget the exact name of them, but looks like something is trying to eat on them. I want to do all this naturally, but it seems like it's more of a challenge to do that. But I'm working on it. So these are the squash and zucchini plants that are out here. And of course, you're seeing the blackberry plant. I want to see what comes of that. I need to plant more of these things. And that's the strawberry plant there. It had a red bloom on them. Well, that one up there has a red bloom. That's my little compost area that I need to clean out. But I just see that flower there. This is a marigold. My wife says, the animals don't like the smell of those. Deer come out here sometimes later on in the year, and hopefully they won't eat up my plants. But right here where I have those two little rods in the ground, those are mustard green and kale that I've planted. I'm testing to see whether those come up as well. Then I'm just going to transplant them just like these here. These are mustard greens, seeds that I threw down on the ground. And the rainfall has nurtured them in the ground, of course, and they're sprouting. Those let's see here. Right there. And right here, see how something is eating them up? Have any suggestions as to how to fight this? Let me know. Really appreciate it. As I say, this is an experiment. And the other experiment is my lawn, which, it's another thought here. This is that cabbage or that collard green. See how it's reseeding? And I'm going to take those seeds. I'm going to care for them a little better this time. so they don't get moist, and hopefully, I mean, there are hundreds of them, so I should have hundreds. But this is the garden. Backyard eating gardening, and it's a blessing to work the land. Just another shot here. That's it right there. All of the little area here. So whatever you have, you can do a tremendous amount of good, with the soil as far as providing for your family, or just if you want to do this for therapy, just get out there and work, sweat, do something in the earth with God, what God has created for us. And need to cut the grass, but all this grass here was planted from seed, not this stuff. This is weed. All this, all that came from seed. One little scrape of the ground at a time. And I don't know why it's discolored like that, but some of it is discolored, some of it is not. All this comes from seeds. This is the latest batch right here. You notice that, see how it's so sparse down here? Of course, it needs the water, and you see these other little things that are growing. I didn't plant any of those, but got to figure out how to get rid of them. But all this is from seeds that I bought at this local store and planted them. You can just get an aerial view here and see how it looks nice. Looks nice, but when you get up on it, you can tell it needs a lot of work. So there you have it. That's the grass. All this was like that when I started. Clear ground. I just threw the seeds out here, and this is how it has grown. And I got to clean this up right here by the deck. I was waiting to let it grow. And you can see it's a little bit more, a little better. Looks lush, looks nice. But if you look closer, you can notice it's different type of seeds. You buy a pack of seeds and you expect it to be only one type in there, but there's more than one type. Anyway, that's another area view of the garden. So it's good therapy. All that was just as clear as dirt. If you see how those plants are, that little bare ground, that's how all of this was, bare. And I did it with my little garden tool, and it took weeks, maybe a month or two. But you get out there and work the ground, just like this little section here. I'm going to work this as well. And out near the fence, that's a little, had to dig in the flower bed to clean that up. I wanted to put down a tarp, a weed barrier in there, so that when it grows back, the flowers and whatever these things are, they won't have all these weeds growing around it. But that's it. All this was just as bare, and I did it 1 square foot at a time. 1 square foot at a time, and you'd be amazed at how much you can do. So that's that. That's the backyard project. You see my footprint. One thing about this grass, it lays down. And I don't know what type it is, but the seeds are designed to hold moisture in the little hole, the shelling once you throw it down. And of course you have a problem with the birds eating it. But once you cut it, it looks nice and smooth. And that's another area view, the garden in the foreground there. That's it. Thank you for tuning in. Take care, and hope you have a blessed day. And remember, the seed produces after its kind. The physical seed, the words that we speak, you can speak in the lives of other people and give them encouragement, to show them love, let them know that the Lord has a purpose for them. And I'm going to put some weed barrier here. I think I may, on these, just put maybe a border, like there in the garden. See those what do you call those things? Landscaping rocks. May do that right here, or some other type of board. I'm not sure just yet. But you have to figure out how to stop these little weeds from growing in your grass. See, there's some right there. Look at this. And then plant those guys. See that? You got to figure out how to fix that. It takes a lot of work, just like the garden. Adam and Eve, they had to work. God said you got to dress it and keep it. You got to guard it. Guard against the enemy. The enemy was right there in the garden. And of course, they fell at that, and God gave them freedom, liberty from that area. And they had to go out and work the ground, and by the sweat of his brow, just like I'm sweating now, having gone out and dug around the plants and planted the other squash up there, and got some radishes right there. It's going to keep me busy. Of course, there's a marigold right there, and well, that's it for now. Those are all the cabbage, all the those collard greens that I planted. It was in a tray of 36. Quite a lot of work. But take care, and tune in again for another video.